Hello, everyone. Thank you, Zoom, for letting us know that this meeting is being recorded. What a nice reminder and validation that this is now on the record. I want to welcome everyone as you arrive here at this webinar, Dream Yourself into Wholeness, 3 Keys for Activating the Joy of Lucidity. I am your host, your guide, Helena Grant, and what an absolute delight. I'm feeling this rush of beautiful energy come through me. I have been preparing this presentation for many, many months, and just so excited to be dreaming this moment here. Thank you for being dreamers with me and dreaming this moment as well. It is a very powerful thing to do, to dream. So I'd love to welcome who is here. Just pop in the chat where you are joining from, your name. I love to just open up the doors and know where you are in the world. I am in the Northeast of the United States. We have some really beautiful weather starting here. It is just so, so lovely. Starting to get quite warm and so, so beautiful with lots of flowers and green grass. Hello, Yarrow in Alberta, Canada. Gorgeous, glorious. I love Canada. And upstate New York, I spent a lot of time up there. Hello, Ann Murdoch from Rumson, New Jersey, our garden state. Lovely. Angie from St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome, welcome. And hello, Sonia from Franklin. What a glorious area. I'm sure you have lots of green where you are as well. So, so wonderful. Please continue to share where you are. Hello, Babs in Wisconsin. Welcome, welcome. So yes, continue to share where you are. And as you do, hello, Lonnie from Mexico, Stephanie from Central Coast, California. Ooh, it's still in the morning for you. And Shannon also in California, the Bay Area. My brother lives there. And Indu here in chilly, overcast Texas. It's very green and luscious due to so much rain. Yes. And Eileen from Orange, New Jersey, and Hayun from East Bay, California. Welcome to all these Californians. Okay, so as you continue to share where you are, and I welcome you, I would love to open this webinar with taking a moment to just ground in with some gratitude and set an intention for our time together today. So I welcome you to just close your eyes, and you can bring your hands together if you would like to, or you can just have your hands down in your lap. And I am just going to thank all of the directions, the east, the south, the west, the north, the above, the below, and the within, and to express my gratitude to all of my guides, angels, ancestors, and all of the benevolent energies for bringing me here today to join all of you, whether you are watching this live or the replay, and ask for the assistance in delivering exactly what this audience needs to hear at exactly the right time. And to thank all of these beautiful energies for supporting the technology that enables us to connect in this way. Thank you, thank you. Amen. Just a wonderful way to, gratitude is very grounding. It helps us get out of our heads and into our bodies. So as we move into the webinar, oh, Sharice is going to be in the 90s today in California. My goodness, that is hot, hot, hot. I invite you to take notes as you are listening. And these don't have to be, I heard as I was tuning into the presentation today, to maybe even consider non-linear notes. I'm going to be really exploring some words, some definitions, some etymology. And so I'd love for you to just look for the words in particular, maybe some phrases that sort of strike you. like a gong or a cymbal, something that just really initiates a clear and resounding response in your body, in your mind. And maybe have fun with writing those words or phrases down on a piece of paper, in a journal, on a Post-it, whatever is available to you. But the act of taking what we hear and using our hands, the physicality of writing, helps really initiate the interaction with the understanding and programs it into the body. So that is something that my guides recommended, that I invite you to explore today in this webinar. So, and also we'll be doing some interacting in the chat as well. I'd love to hear what your responses are and what's resonating for you. So I do have some slides. So I will share my screen now with our presentation today. Dream yourself into wholeness, 3 keys to activate the joy of lucidity. And this presentation is a free gift as a part of the Divine Instruments Summit, which I just wrapped up hosting last Friday, a week ago today. It was a glorious, glorious process of putting together the summit. I had incredible responses to it from the audience, just incredible healing wisdom, inspirational insight. And as I was beginning to create the summit last fall, it really came through to me with a name and what it would involve, which I touched on in my portal presentation when the summit kicked off, was that this came with it too, this follow-up presentation. And we'll also be talking about my upcoming program, Lucidity, at the end. But first, I really want to move into this aspect of the webinar, the teaching portion. And after we go through these slides, I will lead a transformational meditation as well. And then we will get into the program logistics. So those are that's our agenda for today. So I love dreams. I have always been a dreamer, a nighttime dreamer, a daytime dreamer, a dreamer. And I really feel that I inherited a lot of my dreaming capabilities and also my interest in dreams from my grandfather, who I did not know personally. He was killed when my mother was 9, but he took a really pronounced interest in dreams. He was actually a psychiatrist through World War II. He was in the 10th Mountain Division. And after the war, he studied at Johns Hopkins and he worked at Yale, and he met a very, very tragic end at the hands of one of his patients. But I feel deeply, deeply connected to his energy and very much in communication with him. And I know that he really cultivated my mother's interest in dreams, even as a young child. And she was very supportive of my interest and my dream life as well. So as I have moved into adult life, I have really done a lot of studying about dreams in general, as well as really cultivating my own conversation with my dreams. And I just love what dreams can offer us. And of course, this is a waking dream. When you are awake, you are still dreaming. And so this concept of lucidity is that we can be fully engaged, fully active, and actually more interacting with our experience, shaping it, molding it, flying if we would like to. So much with metaphor and meaning. But meaning, that is what I thirst for. I really want to know what things mean. I want to assign meaning. I want to interact with meaning. And I really also quest for joy, not only in my life, but in the life of the people, the lives of the people that I work with. I think that we can establish joy as our baseline. So these are the 3 big words in this title: dream, joy, and lucidity. So let's get into the words. I am a word nerd. I love etymology. I find it so, so, so fascinating. Where do words come from? How did they evolve? What do they mean? What did they mean originally? What do they mean now? And I really did not anticipate what a rabbit hole, exploring what the word dream means and where it came from. It's actually Old Norse. So many of our modern words, our English language comes from the Romance language. I mean, we really sculpted it in incredible ways, so it doesn't always reflect the direct root, but Latin, Greek, Latin, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese. But dream comes from Old Norse, very, very 13th century Old Norse. Drummer, deception, illusion, phantasm. And then the modern definition is a vision of a sleeping person, an illusion, or the verb to conjure up. And so you get this sense of conjuring up. I love this word imagine. That is a synonym of dream, conceive, invent, thirst, sublimate, create, also a big, big word, concoct, stargaze, picture, fantasize, build castles in the sky, formulate, hatch, visualize, hallucinate, devise, idealize, fancy. All of these words can relate to this term, dream. So I'm curious, let me know what is resonating in terms of these words for you as it relates to dream. We dream at night. That's how we often think of dream. But again, your waking life is just as much of a dream as the dreams you dream while you are asleep. Waking life just moves a lot more slowly than in our sleeping, dreaming life, the dreams that we have at night. And let's see, can I see? I guess I can't really see the chat. Pop it in the chat and I'll go back and look once we get through these three words, dream, joy, and lucidity. But so extraordinary how many different terms we can associate with dream. Again, the nighttime dream and the waking dream that we are experiencing at all times. We are constantly dreaming. We are constantly creating. So now let's move into joy. This is a big word that comes up for me, it comes up for my clients. It comes up as something that people want to have, to experience. They want it to really be a part of their lives. And it's something that sometimes we feel is lacking. And it comes from the Latin term gaudia, the expression of pleasure. And of course, the more direct relation to the word in French, la joie, which is joy or bliss. So we have all of these beautiful synonyms: delight, festivity, wonder, satisfaction, solace, exultation, pride, fruition, humor, elation, indulgence, rapture, liveliness, mirth, glee, and humor. And of course, now our modern definition of joy is this emotion of great happiness, of pleasure. So I love to help people really unpack these larger words. And joy is something that we desire. It can also sometimes feel elusive. So when we have more terms to play with, we can reach what we're desiring that much faster. So here we go. Pop it in the chat. What comes up for you? What resonates? What kind of hits that symbol in your system, in your body, in your mind, in terms of these other words for joy, the etymology behind joy. And then we move into lucidity. And again, this word just came through so clearly in regards to the summit and this presentation today. And of course, the program that I am launching, that it has this root of lucidus, light, bright, clear, and the verb lucere, to shine. And the modern definition is this intellectual clarity, transparency of expression. Oh, I just think that's so, so beautiful. And I think we so often assign lucidity to lucid dreaming, what we can do in our nighttime dreams. But again, this is lucidity as it applies as well to the waking dream. And I actually have had many lucid dreams. I have flown, I have taught people to fly, very, very fun. But also learning to fly in our waking lives, to spread our wings, to really have this transparency of expression, this total confidence, this clarity, this accuracy, direction, definition, evidence, perceptibility, the simplicity, the clearness, the precision, the unambiguity. Unambiguity. When I hear the word unambiguity, it's like you're just there's no questioning what's happening. It's just so clear, so certain. Exactitude. I also love that term when it comes to lucidity. Just this concept that everything comes into focus and there's just this clear channel of where you're going, what you're doing, what you're experiencing, and also this sense of flow, that you don't have to come up against the obstacles that may have held you back in the past. Or when you do, you just sort of have this very lucid approach to what might be involved and what might assist you in overcoming them, because you have such accurate direction in where you are going and what you are trying to attain, what you are expressing. So I'm going to stop sharing because I'd love to check in with the chat here. Going back over what words were resonating. Yes, Barb, this is being recorded and we will go for about an hour and 15 minutes with the practice. And oh, Shannon says, I've only recently been remembering my dreams. One of your guests at the summit suggested B6 and B12 vitamins. Yes, and since taking them, wow, still fuzzy, but so much better so far. I can't wait to learn from you once again on this topic. Yes, well, it happens a lot when people start to experience my energy, that they start to experience more revelations in their dream lives, and also remembering their dreams. And I will speak more on the process of interacting with your dreams more consciously. So Kimberly says hatch was a word that really resonated with her. Hayun said thirst. Ooh, yes, absolutely. Faye says, love words too resonate so much with all you share. Thank you, Faye. I love hearing that. That is so wonderful. Yarrow says, I associate traveling with dreaming. Astral travel is common for me. Wonderful, Yarrow. Yes, we are moving to a different plane of consciousness when we are dreaming. We are moving into a different brain wave, a different brain state when we are dreaming. So we literally are traveling. And this is an extraordinary gift as humans, that we have the ability to dream. We have the ability to dream. We have the ability to imagine, and we have the ability to create, express ourselves. Hayun says, mirth. I know, I love that. The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. I love that book. And I love that word for joy, mirth. It feels a little bit, it has that like sense of antiquity to it, but also delight. Shannon says treasure with an exclamation point. I love that. Kimberly also says treasure. So wonderful. Baba says, some of my thoughts about dreams, night school, black box, inner ancestor, lucid travel, getting out of jail free experiences, love every dream, awake and alert as the dreams give me joy and humor. Wonderful story. Wake up wherever we are. Yes, wake up, everyone. Wake up to this dream that we are all having. Kimberly says clarity and tangibility. Yes, 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 yes. And Sherry says joy equals happiness and smiling. Weird, when typing joy, I had to override my autocorrect as twice in trying to type joy, it changed the word to not. Wow. That is fascinating, Sherry. So, so fascinating. Yara says grounding and connection comes to mind with lucidity as well. Yes, it is presence. When you are lucid, you are present. You are not numb to your experience. You are fully engaging with it. You are completely here. You are completely available for what is happening because you know you are the dreamer. You are the dream and you are everything in it, whether you are sleeping or awake. This is all the dream that you can take full responsibility for, how you respond to it, how you interact with it, and what happens. Angie says, conjure is my favorite word so far. And Yarrow says, I have to add embodied. Absolutely. Big, big, big part of my work in the world. And we're going to be moving into that now with the slides that I have forthcoming here. Again, feel free to continue to add to the chat any words that come to mind, whether I have stated them or as Yarrow is adding additional ones. I'd love to hear what is coming up for you. Let it express itself, bring it forth, and share with us. Absolutely inviting you to do that. So let's share again with the slides. Let's talk about one of my heroes, Carl Jung. Very, very famous quote to live by. Until you unite the conscious and the unconscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Now, I know that Jung was really just coming on the scene when my grandfather was studying and beginning his practice. So I don't actually know how much influence there was, but I have a feeling that he was very intrigued by what Jung may have been saying, and Freud. They were still connected at that time. But Jung, when I first really started to explore his work, I thought, oh my goodness, this has opened up just a whole new world. And it was at a time in my life where I was at a really significant crossroads. I had been living with a lot of debilitating syndromes and symptoms. I was just like a walking pharmacy. And I had a beautiful life. I had a lot of beautiful things in my life, but there was just something so misaligned. And there was just this deep, deep misery that no one knew about. I was so good at hiding it. But all of my love, all of my creative talents, my healing talents, everything was just coming out sideways. And I just was in this constant state of cleaning up my own emotional messes, as well as being physically ill. Like once a month, I would just die for like 3 days, where I'd have these terrible headaches, stomach issues, and the doctors just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. And so we just sort of kept throwing medications at it. And then of course you have side effects from the medications. It was a disaster. And so I started to really explore spirituality because I thought, whatever I'm doing isn't working. So I need something bigger. I need something that's going to help me understand myself even more, because I know that I am the reason that I don't have everything that I want, and then I'm not able to deliver myself to the world the way that I know that I can. And that causes a lot of dis-ease when you don't have that fluidity and that lucidity in your life. And I thought, I just want to love all of me. I want to learn to love all the parts of me, even the parts that I hate, because for half of my life, 36 years, I had been trying to get rid of all these dark aspects of myself. And of course, when you try and get rid of something that is a part of you, you just feed it. It just becomes a demon. It gets pushed into the shadow. It gets repressed into the highly fertile, generative, unconscious mind. And our unconscious mind is not only ours, absorbing our daily lifetime experiences, it is also inherited from our ancestors and from the collective. Carl Jung was a pioneer in terms of the collective unconscious. So we are able to absorb information not just passed directly to us from our genetics, but from the world around us, from the world below us, the world above us, all the worlds. And that is what takes over as we dream, is the unconscious mind. So when we unite the unconscious and the conscious mind through this joy of lucidity, this total embodiment, this total availability and complete presence, suddenly we control our own fate with our will, with our desires, what we want to bring into the world. We no longer have to say, oh, I'm fated to be, blocked in my creative life. I'm fated to have just terrible relationships. I have a little spider up above me in my office here. A very Jungian moment, of course. And suddenly we can really just take so much more responsibility, so much more engagement in our life. And yes, of course, there is pain, but we can decide if we experience the pain as suffering or as pleasure. So until you unite the conscious and the unconscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And of course, Jung loved the landscape, the dream landscape, as a way to more deeply understand and bring together the unconscious mind and the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is really remarkable. I mean, of course, this is where our ego lives. It can handle 40 units of information per second. It can absorb that much information. Our unconscious mind can absorb 250,000 units of information per second, which our conscious mind cannot possibly compute. It was like just overdrive. So it says, okay, unconscious mind, you take care of all of that other information and I'll take care of these 40 units and run them through, my projector. But the unconscious mind needs time and space and love, acceptance, and approval for all of the information that it has. And of course, it lives in the body. So when we are in this place of disconnection and possibly not unified in terms of our unconscious and conscious minds, and slightly divided will, and when you have a divided will, it shows up as, again, maybe you feel uncomfortable, maybe you feel blocked, you might be experiencing pain in your physical body, you might be experiencing dis-ease, some sickness, some illness. It might also be occurring more tangentially with people around you. And this is a place of woe. Woe, W-O-E, and woe, W-H-O-A. Tough place to be. And it's very easy to sort of say, I'm fated for this to happen. This happens to me all the time. This has been happening to me all along in my life. Woe is me. Little bit of victim mentality. And sometimes we have to give ourselves space that we have experienced something that is deeply painful, initiates grief in us. I'm not saying to bypass the woe, but I am inviting you, when there is something that feels woeful in your life, and that could take so many forms, and on any given day, the woe could look very different from another day. But when you feel the woe, where can we bring in the wholeness in relation to and in response to the woe? And as we move towards the whole, bringing together all of us, uniting the conscious and the unconscious mind, I mean, that is holy. So not directly related in terms of etymology, but the sound, the homophone of whole and holy. So I'd love to know, I'm going to stop sharing so I can pop in the chat again and ask you, holy, when we see the word holy, H-O-L-Y, we think possibly of religion, but specifically God. And so I'd love to know what word or term you like resonates for you in terms of God, higher power, source, infinite intelligence, the universe, spirit. What word or term do you like to use? The divine, Yarrow, beautiful. And Sonia says universe, source, divine, yes. Sylvia says universe. Okay. Wonderful. Sacred, says Colleen. Yeah, sacred. I'm going to take a quick sip of water as people are populating the chat. Kimberly says spirit, love, the great mystery. Beautiful, Kimberly. Shannon says universe, higher self. Hyun says soul. Michael says divine. Wonderful. Yes. Ooh, Yarrow, Mother Earth. Absolutely. And Sherry says the universe having a sense of humor. It does have a sense of humor. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Oh, these are such beautiful terms. And Baba says whole, holy presence being. Yes. I love that. I love that. I'm going to throw out creative force too. Creative force as a word for God. And I love all of these, but in particularly universe, because we have within us this divine energy that contributed to the creation of the universe, as well as this unbelievable cycle of creation, destruction, life, rebirth. It's starting to rain right now where I am. It's so lovely, very gentle, light rain. But we have this unfathomable energy within us, the same energy that floats the stars and spins the planets and guides the tides. So Yarrow, yes, the Mother Earth aspect, this incredible intelligence that created you as a human, as a soul, that put the heart in a very specific place, that contributed to the lungs developing so that you could breathe the amniotic fluid in your mother's womb, and when you were delivered, then suddenly be able to breathe oxygen. I mean, it's just so mind-boggling. And sometimes that initiates a disconnection in us when we start to be terrified of this power, this creative force that is inside of us, this holiness that is us. And sometimes we just think, oh my God, I can't handle it. I need to check out. I need to numb out. I need to disconnect. And what happens then is we move into the head. We move away from the body and the mind working together. And we think we can think our way out of this almost terror of ourselves and what we are capable of, because we have this creative force within us. We have the universe, the divine, the higher self, the almighty one. Beautiful, this divinity, the soul that really wants to express through us, to experience everything involved in the human experience, this full spectrum of experiences. And that's not just the joy, that's the sorrow. That's not just the delight, that's the grief, the full spectrum. This is what God, the divine, Mother Earth wants through living within us. Barbara says the word alliedness is jumping in my mind. Well, let it jump. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful words. Thank you everyone for sharing these. Oh, Colleen says I have the access point to creator, the mother. Wonderful. Susie says, God is an old standby, but moving toward universe. It is an awe-inspiring feeling. It is. I was raised a Catholic, so God still does resonate with me, but it just sort of depends on the context. Sometimes universe feels more appropriate. Sometimes soul feels more appropriate. It's all interchangeable. It is all completely interchangeable. So I'm going to share my screen again and move into our 3 keys, because that is part of the reason why you're here. What are these 3 keys to activate this joy of lucidity? Number 1, starting at the top of this circle, is listen. Number 2 is return. And number 3 is unify. And of course, these do not exist on their own. They exist together. This is a cycle of constantly moving from one to the other. They are completely interdependent and interact with one another, but we start with listen. We start with pause and take a moment, take a breath, close the eyes, and just listen, opening ourselves to this incredible, unfathomable, extraordinary, loving, benevolent, creative force that exists within us, that contributed to our creation and desires to create through us. It is there. It is always available to us. It is waiting for us to listen. And as we open ourselves to the listening, then we must return. We must return back into the body, back into the body. The mind is where the consciousness exists, and the body is where the unconscious lives. Again, that higher intelligence, these bodies have been being made for millennia. You don't have to do much when you are pregnant. You just have to sort of lay back. We all come from a mother, and the mother's body somehow knows how to put everything in place at the right time, in the right ways, and however that looks, whatever we may have inherited. And then once we return, we can unify, because when we return to the body, then we can bring together the body and the mind, and we can awaken the body mind. This is a term I think is going to start popping up more and more, the body mind, as we awaken to the power of emotions, the power of feeling, moving towards a more empathic approach to life. And I think many of you probably, like me, have empathic natures. You have a lot of emotions, you have a lot of feelings, you might have a lot of sensations in your bodies. And growing up, you may have not had a lot of education on how to harness the power of that. And it may have created a disconnection between your body and your mind. That is what I lived with for many, many years. Still very grateful for that experience because it informs my work now. But listen, return, and unify. And we will get into what those mean more specifically. So listen, opening yourself up to this higher divine universal energy, the God that is within you and outside of you, everywhere, all the time. The dream will always lead you back to the self with a capital S, and that is the God, the self. That doesn't mean that we play God. That means that we interact with God. It means that we have this, again, incredible, extraordinary, creative force that desires to create and desires to heal us so that we can heal the world. And the dreams that you have are the golden road to the unconscious mind. Again, the unconscious mind is this incredibly fertile ground for inspiration, letting spirit come through you, guide you, deliver you, assist you in creating and attaining that beautiful state of flow and healing. You can attain your own healing in your dreams. Your dreams can lead you to your wholeness when you learn to interact with them, converse with them, translate them in a way that is very beneficial for you, very nourishing. It really brings you into this healed place of wholeness. And oh God, the wholeness is just so beautiful. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. And then return to the body. So listen to your dreams and return to the body. And this is the directive. Anytime you start to feel anxious or the disconnection or experiencing any kind of overwhelm or blockage, back into the body. Back into the body. Back into the body. Bring it down into the body. Again, it helps to close the eyes, take some nice deep breaths, and allow everything in the head to just flow down. You can think of many different visualizations, but it's just using these words, back into the body, bringing yourself back into the body. Because when we move into the head in that way, we dissociate and we disconnect from, again, this incredible power of having the conscious and the unconscious mind working together. And when we move out of the head, then we can move into this place of bypassing the critical mind, i.e. the ego. And I am not trying to propagate the bad rap that the ego gets. The ego is an incredible tool. and a beautiful, beautiful aspect of ourselves. But when it is given too much leeway, it's like a toddler throwing a tantrum. We need to harness the power of the ego. We need to mother it. We need to nurture it. We need to love it. We need to accept it. We need to radically approve of it and understand what it's trying to convey to us, how it might be trying to protect us, keep us safe, show us this is the way it's always been, this is the way it should continue to be. We can say, thank you so much for that information. But how about we look at this with more curiosity, more engagement, more lucidity, more embodiment. And when we return to the body, we can reclaim our sovereignty over the experience. We can move into a place of, what can I do with this? What is this thought or this situation or this block trying to show me, teach me, or give to me? And now it is raining quite a bit harder now. We're getting a very nice cleanse in my external world. There's a beautiful breeze coming through the window as well. So everyone, right now, back into the body. Back into the body. And then the third key, to unify the psyche and the soma. So again, this is the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, the thinking mind, the psyche that has both the aspects of the conscious mind and the unconscious mind, and the soma, the body, which again has those aspects as well, bringing them together, initiating the conversation between the mind and the body mind, to revel in the power of the felt sense landscape. What am I feeling right now? What is the texture of this feeling? This can be an aspect of the transformational meditation that we move into at the end of these slides. But this real power, again, of the felt sense landscape. And I think that the empaths of the world, we had to really numb ourselves. We had to sort of sleep our way through a lot of our experiences. We had to numb out. We had to check out. It was just too overwhelming. And now we can come into a new place of wholeness, where we can utilize the incredible, extraordinary force of the felt sense landscape to inform us in how we interact with the world, how we present ourselves, in what we create. And that is the action word here, create. And so for my final slide of this presentation, I want to share a dream that I had on May 1st of this year. So it was just before the summit was about to move into its promotional phase. And I highly recommend that as you are waking up to your dreams, to always document them and to handwrite them. And if you can't hold on to them long enough to handwrite them, voice memo can be very helpful as well. But as soon as you possibly can, record the dream. So this is the recording of the dream in the beginning. And I'm taking this moment to ritualize the dream in sharing it with you and creating this presentation. This dream helped inform me as I put together what I have shared thus far today. So here is the dream. I appear on stage and speak passionately about the role of women in building history. At the end, I do a shadow dance with a light shining on me, my shadow projected onto a screen, and sing a do-do-do-do-do song while parading around the stage. As I do, I have the sense my actions rewrite history. I end my presentation with this. You have such extraordinary power within you to serve yourself, your family, your community, and the world. Now go deliver it. Again, I want to say that one more time. You have such extraordinary power within you to serve yourself, to serve your universe, your God, the divine, to serve yourself, your family, your community, and the world. Now go deliver it. And to me, deliver it, that means create. Create, create, create. Okay, so I'm going to check in with the chat. I'd love to know how that lands for all of you. If there was a key that really resonated with you, if it was the listen, the return, or the unify, or maybe even how that final message lands with you. And Yara is sharing earlier, collective consciousness just popped into my mind. Yes, there is that as well. And Sherry says, some of my pastors begin their sermons with a joke. Humor, yes. Humor is a really wonderful way to enter into this conversation. And okay, return and remember. Yes, return and remember, converse with, interact with. And Baba says, reminds me of the work of Arnold Mindell, who was a Jungian as he evolved his body-centered trainings. Riding the horse backwards. I will have to look into that, Baba. Thank you. Sherry says, I love mandalas. Yes, that was a big part of Jungian psychology, drawing the mandala. It is a symbol of the unconscious mind, a symbol of the self. And personal healing is a class action that heals the fabric of our community in all directions, future and past, in the infinite now. Baba, so beautiful. Yes, that's exactly what is happening. The more good we do for ourselves, the more gold we deliver to the world. The more inner work that we apply to our own lives, the more we can heal ourselves, the more we can heal the disconnect of the world, which is, of course, that people think we aren't totally connected to one another and nature, but that's just not the case. Just not the case. Return to your body, out of the mind. Yes, Susie, back into the body. Back into the body. And Colleen wants to talk more about the felt sense landscape. Yes. So it, again, is really utilizing curiosity to interact with what we are feeling, what we are experiencing, what might be coming up for us in response to our experience, our circumstances, whatever might be occurring. What is initiated in the body? What are the emotions? What are the reactions? What are the feelings? And so I would love to move us into our transformational meditation, which really helps us tune in to this felt sense landscape. It's one of my favorite methods to utilize on myself, with my clients, and it will be something that we utilize in Lucidity, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. Yara says, I love what you said, reclaim sovereignty. Yes, that sovereignty, again, that total engagement, total presence, total availability for this full spectrum of our experience. Okay, so we're gonna do what is called a focusing meditation. So I invite you, let's see, what would you say is your biggest block when it comes to really expressing yourself, creating in the world? What's the biggest block you feel like is really interfering with your fullest expression, your most profound, engaged, present lucidity in the world? What's the block? Share with me in the chat, and we will see what comes up for everyone, and we can utilize that as a fulcrum in we're just going to do a really short meditation. So let's see. Yara, I feel like you've got something in there. Maybe Baba? What's the biggest block? Fear of failure, fear of being seen. Oh, Baba, yes. I understand that so much. Hayun says failure. Yes, failure is scary. Fear of failure, says Alexis as well. Fear of people really knowing me and judging me. That is, Michael, related to being seen as well. Yes, yes, yes. Totally, totally understandable. Let's see if there are any other ones. It's hard to be known and judged. Finances, always worrying about money, lack of limit nation thinking. Fear of being judged. Who am I to ... Kimberly, yes, of course. But of course you are God. You have God within you. You have the universe, the power of the stars, the power of your desires. Fear of not having anything to offer. No talents at all. Vicky. I'm sorry you feel that way. I know you know that's not true. And Yarrow says, actually prioritizing action. If I commit, that means I will be responsible for the level of standards I set for myself. I will actually have to become who I say I am. Who are you being, Yarrow? Who are you being? How to be the messenger without being killed. Ah, yes. Fear of shining. Oh, Hyun, fear of shining. Fear of judgment, inner criticism. Daughter says the mind, perfection. Yes, that perfectionism. I also understand that. Fear of not living up to my visions, my standards. Sonia, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I'm going to go with more of an overarching fear of being seen, because then that can take many different formats. But let's work on this fear of being seen. And if that doesn't resonate with you at all, you can just experience this meditation however you would like. So let's move into really interacting with this fear of being seen. This is a fear that we might have on a very personal level. And even if you feel that that doesn't necessarily relate to you, this is a very collectively unconscious fear that a lot of people have of being seen, of knowing that there's this incredible gift that you want to deliver to the world, but this terror of being seen, of no longer being safe, of sharing yourself vulnerably. And I'm feeling a release around it already in my physical body. So let's just close the eyes and take a nice deep breath into the count of 4, counting into the count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way into the belly, and exhaling to the count of 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way to completion. And at the end of the completed breath, just taking a moment to breathe normally. We are entering into beta brain waves with this pranayama. And let's just do 2 more of those. So inhaling to the count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way, and exhaling to the count of 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathing normally here at the bottom. And I invite you to take 1 more breath on your own, inhaling to the count of 4, exhaling to the count of 6. I'm going to do that quietly myself as well. Sinking in here, maybe feeling the shoulders come away from the neck, the ears, creating nice space in the chest, relaxing the belly, sitting up nice and straight, feet on the floor. And I invite you, with a lot of openness and availability, to tune in to what comes up for you when you hear the term fear of being seen. Fear of being seen. Breathing normally here, just allowing those words to sort of marinate in your system, welcoming them in, fear of being seen, and just notice what awakens in you, in your body. Might be a specific area, might be a specific space. And whatever that looks like, no, you're not questioning why or how or what. You're really just making yourself totally available to how this fear of being seen presents itself in your system along the scenery of your felt sense landscape. The fear of being seen, the emotion that arises within you, just tuning into where that is in your body. Might be in the chest area, could be in the stomach, could be in the hands or the feet. Whatever it looks like, totally welcoming that, totally available for that. Breathing with it, knowing that you are completely sovereign and totally safe in this experience as you welcome in this response to fear of being seen. And bringing all of your attention and awareness to this space in your body, I'd love for you to just really look at it with curiosity. I mean, this is just an exquisite aspect of yourself, your felt sense landscape. Is there a color associated with the feeling, with the emotion surrounding this fear of being seen, this block? Whatever that color looks like, welcoming that in, again, with love, acceptance, and approval, however it wants to present itself. Maybe it's even changing color a little bit. Maybe it's morphing, maybe it's stagnant. However it wants to present itself, you welcome that. And now, again, all of your attention, all of your awareness on the space in your body where the emotion and the response and the feeling lives surrounding this fear of being seen. Is there a texture to it? Is it smooth? Is it rough? Is it spiky? And maybe even as you tune into the texture, the color might be changing, the size might be changing. There could be some morphing going on. Again, it could be stagnant. Whatever the experience is, absolutely available for it. And really just looking at this as a remarkable piece of art within you. This fear of being seen, just extraordinary. This is a part of you. Part of you that maybe have felt that you shouldn't feel, and yet it's there. And it has something to tell you. It has something to give you. And so now having a sense of what color might be associated with it, what texture might be associated with it. Is there a sound that it wants to make? Maybe it wants to sigh, maybe it wants to scream, maybe it wants to cry, maybe it has some words for you. But is there a sound that this aspect of you, this fear of being seen, this response to this very normal fear of exposing yourself, of being vulnerable, of sharing yourself, this potential to be judged in being seen? Does it have a sound? Does it want to say something? Does it want to communicate with you? Welcoming that in, whether it's presented something or not. Perhaps it wants to remain silent. That is fine. And now, again, taking a nice breath, feeling a lot of gratitude for how this aspect of you, wherever it is in your body, whatever color it is, whatever texture it has, whatever it has or has not said to you, just really feeling so many thanks for how it is presenting itself to you, how it might be communicating. And now ask it, do you have a name? What would you like me to call you? Almost as if you are addressing a child, a young child that you just find so delightful. You just want to know more about them. You want to know how they want to be called. What name do they respond to? And this could be a name of someone that you know. Again, it could be a sound. But do you have a name? What would you like me to call you? Just really feeling how that name feels, and maybe feeling how this feeling feels in being asked its name, how it wants to be addressed. And again, breathing in the gratitude, the relaxation, knowing the texture, the color, the sound, the name. Ask this part of you, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? How can I take care of you? And again, really breathing in, relaxing here, feeling into this aspect of yourself, this response to this fear of being seen, this very common, perhaps not totally rational fear, but still ever present. What can I do for you? How can I take care of you? And maybe it has something to give you, some response. Maybe it doesn't. Again, totally open and available for whatever comes up. Breathing here again, feeling that total sovereignty, total acceptance, total approval of this aspect of yourself. And we're going to start to release ourselves from it, not get rid of it, not push it away, but almost think of being able to embrace it. Just like wrapping your arms around a child that just really wants a hug. Just really feeling so much love, so much gratitude, so much availability for this part of you that exists on the felt sense landscape. This aspect of you that has been here all along, causing these blocks, causing these interferences, these interferences with your creation, your fullest lucidity, your fullest expression. Just really giving it so much love, so much approval, so much acceptance, and just let it know how grateful you are that it communicated to you in this way and that you are always available to it, to interact when needed. Whenever it needs attention, this fear of being seen might present itself in so many ways. But now that you have associated these colors, these textures, these sounds, these words with it, this experience, you can access this healing insight and wisdom at any time. Anytime you feel yourself responding to the block of the fear of being seen, you know that you can interact with it in this way, on this felt sense landscape. And just again, one final embrace, a beautiful hug goodbye just for now. Thank you so much to this aspect of myself. I love you. I thank you. I'm grateful for you. And now taking a nice deep breath again, maybe relaxing those shoulders if they have moved up towards the ears, very consciously breathing all the way into the belly, deep into the belly, and filling it all the way up, and exhaling through the nose. And one more time, inhaling, expanding through the chest, through the belly, all the way as far as you can go, and then exhaling all the way, bringing in that very powerful contraction. That is how the universe operates, expansion and contraction. And that is within our breath. And you can keep your eyes closed here, breathe normally. And when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes. Maybe take a sip of a beverage. If you would like to write anything down in your nonlinear notes, I would also love to hear what that experience was like for you if you feel like sharing in the chat. And that is a very powerful, focusing meditation, moving into that felt sense landscape, because when we have these thoughts, we have these very conscious interactions, these desires, so much comes up in our unconscious somatic mind, our body, mind. And again, that fear of being seen is so prevalent in so many of us, and really just causes this real hitch in the giddy up when it comes to creating, to delivering ourselves, to sharing ourselves, to even healing ourselves and delivering that out into the world. And we are all creators. We have the creator within us, the universe, and that's what wants to come through us. And in that act of creation, we are healing. We are healing ourselves, and we can heal the world. Baba says, gentle, empowering experience, deep gratitude to your wisdom. Thank you so much, Baba. I'm so glad that that was helpful. And of course, there will be a recording. You can utilize that, but it's anytime that feeling of fear of being seen comes up is so helpful to tune in to, what am I feeling right now? What's really coming up for me? What does it need from me? What can I do to assist it? What can I provide? It's a two-way street. Oh, another release, excuse me, going on there. I think a lot moved through everyone. Smooth and deep, says Barbara. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what I spoke to in my original presentation at the beginning of Divine Instruments about healing the disconnect. So this follow-up presentation expands on some of those themes, especially with unification. And I think as we awaken to the power of our empathy that everyone has, whether or not they're in tune with their empathetic talents and gifts, that we will start really tuning into the heart and the desires that exist within us. And desires are the word desire, decidere, of, from is de, and sidare is of the stars. So this tunes in again to all of creation is within us, and those desires, those wants, the things that we want to create, that is a part of the universe. Kimberly says, that was interesting, witnessing a part of us that is afraid of being seen, essentially giving it a safe place in which to be seen. Yes. And when we see all parts of ourselves, again, with this total love, acceptance, approval, curiosity, suddenly the way that other people see us starts to reflect the way that we see ourselves. And when we approach ourselves with that love, acceptance, approval, all of ourselves, the unified whole, suddenly that fear dissipates. And fear and desire are very closely related. The things that we fear, we deeply desire. The things we deeply desire, we also fear. This is not rational necessarily, but it is a part of this incredible intelligence that exists within us, just waiting for us to interact with it in a new way. And I have so many tools to share to do that. Sherry says, not wanting to shine because I think people and think she's ugly, old, not pretty enough. That part of you, Sherry, that thinks you're too old, not pretty enough, that you could do this focusing on that and just loving that. That's okay that you feel that way. It's not necessarily true, but honoring that feeling, honoring that response, honoring that reaction will actually help you dissolve it. The creature that came up for me was my inner troll named Grumph. Okay, something like from a cursed fairy tale. Grumph is probably a part of your genius, Sherry, that has taken the shape of a demon because it hasn't received the nourishment of your love, attention, and approval. I love that you have a name for this aspect of yourself. This is a little bit of your inner monster. We all have these monsters. We have this monstrous love that we want to deliver to the world. And so you can rewrite that fairy tale. You absolutely can. Feel free to continue sharing. I would love to move into this last aspect of my presentation today and share with you my program, LUCIDITY, which I will put in the chat this link. Let me do that now, actually. So that you can explore this sales page in real time. I don't think it needs the little slash at the end. But again, I put together LUCIDITY as a culmination of the Divine Instruments Global event. You do not have had experience that, whatever form that took, but this is the next step in a lot of the messaging that was shared, the healing wisdom. And this came to me, the word lucidity, to create this program based on the concept of mastering the waking and the sleeping dream as a creative alignment portal, so that we can position you as a creative totally aligned with what you desire to create, and really moving you through fear, overwhelm, anxiety, just really positioning you in a whole new way. This is a 6-week program, so it is intended to have very, very rapid results. And I asked some questions as to whether you want to feel free from doubt, fear, self-sabotage. These are things that interfered with me showing up in the world for many, many decades. And I have so many tools for how to overcome them. And if you are ready to have confidence and clarity fueling your creative vision And if you're ready to really express yourself unapologetically and live an expansive life worth celebrating, this is really a wonderful opportunity to join me and other creative souls really finding this place, this confluence of flow and ease, freedom, so that you can really experience the waking dream in a whole new way. You have so much to offer the world, and just fear and anxiety have really been interfering likely with your connection to your inner divinity, your inner creator, your inner soul, your higher self, whatever terminology you want to use for it. It's really maybe that life is happening to you versus you really interacting with it, being fully present, fully engaged, fully available, and just maybe even a little bit fearful of how powerful you are, how much you have to give to the world, just allowing those blocks to interfere. And as I touched on before, this could be showing up in so many different ways and so many formats, but likely you want something bigger, you want something greater, and you know that you are being called to that. And you just need like a little bit of guidance, a little bit more of a channel, more structure, and really to tune in to this incredible creative force that's within you and allow it to guide and inspire and support you. So you don't have to stay bogged down by stress, fear, and self-doubt. You can pass through this portal that I have created, this 6-week portal, so that you can have a life defined by connection, clarity, and confidence. That's connection to your inner divinity, clarity of purpose, and confidence in how you express yourself, how you show up in the world. Just imagine what it would be like to release yourself from blocks, activate your creativity, your intuition. Oh my God, endless source of inspiration and an innate power within you. Again, that unfathomable creative force. And this gets in a little bit to my bio. I touched on some of these experiences and aspects of my story throughout this presentation, so you're welcome to read that more extensively in the sales page. Again, some questions I hope resonate for you, but mostly, do you want to not just cope, but truly thrive and shine? Do you feel like it is time for that to happen? Then this creative alignment portal of Lucidity, I created this for you. I tuned into the larger subtle energy of you, and I am so excited to be leading this group through these 6 weeks. So here are some details about what you can expect from the Lucidity experiences. Experiences, maybe, I don't know. You have 6 modules, and these modules will be pairing meditations, much along the lines of what we just did with the focusing, as well as somatic practices, as well as some journaling prompts, and we'll also be doing overarching dream work. So this is so cool to be doing this. I'm so excited to be delivering this to the world. I can't wait to assist you in really, again, unifying all aspects of yourself, giving you just so much clarity, confidence, and connection. So module 1 is really focusing on cleansing. Cleansing meaning, again, physical and metaphysical. We're getting all aspects of the self working together, making space in the body, talking about self-care, sacred self-care, sacred sleep, but also like clearing the conscious space as well. So cleanse has a lot to do with making space and begins on June 21st. And then module 2, we move into purify. So we created the space, and then this is a little bit of like cleaning out the space. So you've made the space, you want to make the space available for what you are bringing in, how you are aligning yourself going forward. And again, some meditation, some embodiment exercises, really just positioning you in a whole new way in your life. Module 3, we arrive. We move into this place of just full engagement, really just unshakable presence, confidence, and gives you just sort of a whole new perspective on your experience, maybe what you've experienced in the past, and really arming you for what will come. Module 4, clarify. This is where we start to tune into this beautiful interaction and relationship between fear and desire, developing a new relationship with fear. This has been so instrumental in my own life and my work, really understanding desire and fear. And again, the interplay between the two, what we deeply fear, we also desire. What we deeply desire, we also fear. And again, it might not make conscious, rational sense, but it is an aspect of this extraordinary psyche that we have. And yeah, just how to transmute these blocks into your creative fuel. Module 5, we now, because we have cleansed and clarified, arrived, we are ready to move into the flow state. And as creators, you know what that probably feels like. And maybe it's, you want to feel it more. But the flow, just giving yourself over to the creative process, you've released the blocks, you understand the fears in a new way. I'm going to be teaching you existential kink. I am a certified existential kink practitioner. It is an unbelievable practice and attitude to apply to your life. I studied the law of attraction, especially as it became more available in the vernacular back in the 2000s, earlier 2000s. And I understood it intellectually, but it just didn't work because there was a missing piece. And that is what existential kink does. It bridges any aspect of the law of attraction that you just feel like might not be working for you. And it really brings you into this flow state. It is so, so, so powerful. Again, easily the most transformative aspect of my life, my journey, my spiritual practice, existential kink. Cannot wait to teach that to you. And then module 6, our final module, align and shine. You have positioned yourself in all these incredible ways. It's time to expand and shine out into the world with just incredible confidence. Again, utilizing the somatic practices, the meditations, the journaling, and you just are going to be in a whole new space, on a whole new playing field with what I have to teach you in module 6. And that occurs, that releases on July 26th. So breakdown of what you get in this 6-week intensive: 6 guided meditations and journal prompts, 6 somatic practices, 6 live weekly Q&A sessions. We will have a live kickoff call as well. That will happen on Monday the 21st. And we will also have a dedicated dream interpretation workshop. I will be sharing the dream translation method with you in the beginning, which I have developed over time. And we will focus more specific attention probably around module 5 with a dedicated dream translation interpretation workshop for this group. We have a private online platform for content, interaction, support, and discussion. This is not Facebook. This is a private, dedicated platform that does not involve social media. Very safe space. Again, totally private. And you will get lifetime access to the content. So when I launch Lucidity again, you can be a part of that if you'd like, but either way, you will always be able to access the information that you are given. I have some beautiful testimonials, which you can read more extensively on the sales page itself. But she invited me back into my life, says Heather. A wealth of guidance to unearth your gifts, says Robin P. I feel confident and validated, says Sarah. I am kinder to myself, says Robin. This is just a small snippet of the testimonials that I have received in my work, but just wanted to share those. The logistics, the nitty gritty. Enrollment closes next Friday at 11:59 p.m. That's Friday, June 11th. This course runs from June 21st to July 26th. Again, that is 6 weeks, and it begins just after the equinox. So we have the second half of the year. This is a way to harness the energy of now moving into this second phase of the year of our linear time. My promise to you, by the end of these 6 weeks, you will have a clear vision and direction, more confidence in what you create, connection to your sovereignty, comfort in showing up in new and dynamic ways, and tools and practices to help you find delight in everything. That is the existential kink practice and attitude. So revelatory. Now, I really want to focus on this aspect as to whether this portal is for you or if this portal is not for you. This portal of creative alignment is for you if you want to create unapologetically, if you feel ready to release self-doubt, if you want to enjoy life, if you desire pretty much immediate results and practical tools, and you want to reclaim your sovereignty. And this portal is not for you if you don't want things to happen quickly. One of the testimonials, Robin, the last testimonial, talks about working with Helena is like getting on the quantum ferry. When you step into my containers, things are going to start happening quickly. So if you don't want them to happen quickly, if you need them to happen slowly, this is not the right program for you. If you are attached to that woeful version of the past and you just feel like you can't get past it, you really want to hold on to it, you're not ready to transmute the pain, this portal is not for you. If you think material reality has all the answers, this portal is not for you. If you want to remain in victim mode, disconnected from your divinity, your inner creative force, this portal is not for you. And if you prefer a painful experience over a pleasurable experience, lucidity is not for you. So sit with those, see what initiates a response in your system. And here are some results that you can expect to feel. Clarity through the meditations and practices, cleansed from second guessing and censoring yourself, that fear of being seen. You will feel connected to guidance. Again, that inner source, Mother Nature, the universe. Oh, it's a beautiful place. You can feel a release of fear of visibility, the fear of being seen, so you can show up in new and dynamic ways for yourself, your family, and your work in the world. Remember what the dream statement said. You have so much extraordinary power within you to serve yourself, your family, your community, and the world. Now go and deliver it. And to deliver it, you need confidence so that you can get out of your own way, right? And you're going to feel joy and wholeness. I am living proof of all of that. This is the full package, aligning the internal and the external, powerful steps towards synthesizing your physical and spiritual experiences. The investment in lucidity, $497 full pay for the entire 6 weeks, lifetime access, all the meditations, all the practices, or you can choose 5 payments of $111. So slightly more if you choose a payment plan, but still I wanted to make this program super accessible, very reasonable, because I want these tools to reach as many people as possible in the world. I absolutely love teaching this. I love changing lives for the better. I love awakening creators to that incredible, unfathomable power and force that is within them. So to add to the core value of lucidity, I have some wonderful bonuses for you, including lifetime access to all 3 of my summits. I mean, I can't even count how many hours of incredible transformational content that is, as well as access to Motivated 21 Steps to Confidence. This is a step-by-step course delivered over time, not 21 days in a row, but 21 steps that walks you through just incredibly powerful transformational practices so that you can be motivated and ignite your confidence. So we have some frequently asked questions here. You can expect to spend about 30 minutes a day on these practices, and that will produce profound results quickly. Existential kink, I give a little bit more informational information about that. Again, it's a practice, a dedicated meditation. It's also an attitude that you can sort of apply on the fly. Unbelievably empowering and fun. And I also get into the difference between no and yes. Is this a no for you? Is this a yes for you? You can explore that on your own. When you sign up for Lucidity, when you click those buttons, you can either choose the full pay or the payment plan that will enlist you automatically in the private portal. Again, we will get started on June 21st. That will be our kickoff call at 2 p.m. Eastern. It will last about 90 minutes. The modules will go live on Mondays. And then on Wednesdays, we will have our Q&A calls. Those, again, will be at 2 p.m. Eastern. They will be recorded. And you'll be able to ask questions all along in the portal as necessary and desired. And those Q&A calls will last 60 minutes and be recorded as well. I offer you a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee as long as you are working it. You have to be applying yourself. But I know that you will, because this is so much fun. You will be so cared for, so held, and really have so much fun doing this. You know, we can relax and change our lives. We do have to apply ourselves. We do have to put in effort, but it can be very enjoyable and can be so, so, so much fun. And here is a little bio about me and some of my studies, my approach. And I just love this picture. Do what you love. You are loved. Do what you love. Go out into the world and create. And for the first 3 people who sign up for Lucidity, I'm offering a fast action bonus of a 1-to-1 coaching session. This is a $997 value, another almost $1,000 on top of your investment in the program. These sessions are unbelievably life-changing, and I can't wait to offer them as an additional bonus for Lucidity. So here is the link again. So you can look at the sales page on your own. This is really just an incredible opportunity to learn all of these practices, so many of these practices that I have been utilizing in my own life and also in the lives of my clients, initiating incredible transformation, unbelievable activation, total creative alignment. And it was funny too, last week as I was fine-tuning the details, I originally called it a creativity alignment portal. And I woke up one morning to this like liminal conversation between what I identified as my conscious mind and my unconscious mind. And the unconscious was saying, no, it's creative alignment portal. And my ego mind was like, are you sure it's not creativity? And it was like, no, creative alignment. So if you are ready to be in total creative alignment as a creator, as a healer, it's time. This is the time. This is the opportunity. Join the 6-week portal, and I can promise you by the end of July, you are going to be in a completely different, beautiful, joyful, lucid place in your life. We have a couple of comments here. Thank you, Ness. So nice to see you. Yes, balance and ripple effect, bringing it into the world. Barbara, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you found this inspirational. I loved sharing all of this with you. Again, I hope that you will take some time to explore the sales page and act on that fast action bonus of the 1-to-1 coaching session that is just such focused attention on you. And people have gone through that hour and just, again, been in a completely different place in their lives. So we are coming to the end of the webinar here. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. But I hope that this was a transformational experience for you, that whatever came through me today provided you with what you needed maybe you weren't even aware that you needed it, or that you were ready for it. But I trust that all the words, all the messages that I brought forth, and especially this opportunity to really move into a place of lucidity in your life and your experience, is something that you feel you've been waiting for, because I created all of it for you. Thank you so, so much, Yarrow. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, everyone. Hayun, thank you for sharing yourself so fully. It's a beautiful thing to do, to share yourself fully and to have no fear of being seen. This is, when you can just approach your life with like so much love, so much engagement, so much presence, so much approval. We can do so much in this world. And I know that you all are created and called to do just that. So I look forward to guiding you further. Thank you again so, so much for joining me today. I hope that the rest of your Friday, if that's the day that it is where you are in the world, is enjoyable. And I so look forward to sharing more as we move forward. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah! So much love to you. Until the next.